Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of our 30-day journey through Habakkuk. Today, we are going to be talking about wrestling with God's plan. Habakkuk 1:12 through 17 says this: Lord, are you not from everlasting? My God, my Holy One, you will never die. You, Lord, have appointed them to execute judgment. You, my rock, have ordained them to punish. Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wrongdoing. Why then do you tolerate treacherousness? Why are you silent while the wicked are swallowed up? Sorry. Why then do you tolerate the treacherous? Why are you silent while the wicked swallow up those more righteous than themselves? You have made people like fish in the sea, like the sea creatures that have no ruler. The wicked foe pulls all of them up with hooks. He catches them in his net and gathers them up in his dragnet, and so he rejoices and is glad. Therefore he sacrifices to his net and burns incense to his dragnet. For by his net he lives in luxury and enjoys the choicest food. Is he to keep on emptying his net, destroying nations without mercy? In this, we see that Habakkuk is deeply troubled by God's plan. He acknowledges God's holiness and justice, but struggles to reconcile how a righteous God can use a wicked nation like Babylon to fulfill his purposes. This is a common struggle for believers as well, as we don't understand how a good God can allow evil. This passage reminds us that questioning God's plan doesn't mean that we lack faith. Some of the greatest people in the Bible, Job, David, Jeremiah, wrestled with God's justice, but God does not rebuke them for their questions. Instead, what does he do? He invites them to seek him more deeply. Faith is not about having all the answers, it's about trusting God even when we just don't understand. Just like Habakkuk, we may feel frustrated when we see injustice prevailing. We may cry out to God, wondering why evil people seem to prosper while the righteous suffer. However, this passage in Habakkuk teaches us that God's justice is never absent. It is simply beyond our understanding. God allows things to unfold according to his perfect plan, even when it doesn't make sense to us in the moment. Even if you've ever wrestled with God's plan, you're not alone. The Bible is full of people who struggled understanding God's ways, yet their faith was strengthened through the process. God is not afraid of our questions. He desires an open, honest relationship with us where we bring our struggles before him rather than turning away in frustration. It's important to remember that God's silent doesn't mean he's absent. We just don't see his immediate answers, so we must trust that God is still working behind the scenes. His wisdom is far greater than ours, and his justice will ultimately prevail in his perfect timing. Habakkuk's struggle reminds us that faith is not passive, it is active. Wrestling with God's plan can lead us to a deeper understanding of his character and a stronger relationship with him. Instead of being discouraged by our doubts, we should allow him to draw us closer to God. So, what can we learn from Habakkuk's faith? First, bring your questions to God. Like Habakkuk, don't be afraid to ask God difficult questions. He welcomes our honesty and seeks to deepen our faith through our struggles. 2, trust in God's sovereignty. Even when the world seems chaotic, God is still in control. His justice and wisdom are beyond our comprehension. 3, remember God's faithfulness. Look back on times when God has been faithful in your life. Even if you don't see the outcome now, trust that he is working all things for good. And 4, stay persistent in prayer. Wrestling with God's plan should drive us to prayer, not away from it. Seeking him continually strengthens our trust in his purpose. So, what aspects of God's plan have you struggled to understand? How can you trust God even in uncertainty? Have you experienced a time when you later realized God was working through a difficult situation? What steps can you take to deepen your faith when facing unanswered questions? Here's my prayer for you today. Lord, teach us to trust your wisdom when we don't understand your ways. Give us the faith to believe in your goodness even when we wrestle with doubts. Help us to bring our struggles before you instead of turning away. Strengthen our hearts to trust that your justice will prevail in your perfect timing. Thank you for your patience with us as we seek to understand your plan. May God bless you today and give you peace today. I will see you tomorrow.